Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel if you guys are new here. My name is Sydney. I film cruelty-free beauty videos, and today's video is going to be my $1,000 fantasy Colourpop cart. So this video is extra special because it's a collab with my friend the beauty reviewer. She does a lot of project pan, shot my stash tape videos in her channel. So if you guys really enjoyed those videos on my channel, definitely check hers out. You might really enjoy her content. I will of course link her down below. But when she approached me about this collab, I was really excited. I'm not gonna lie, I've already filmed another one of these $1,000 fantasy cart videos for Ulta. I just haven't posted it yet. But I had so much fun filming the Sephora one. I had so much fun filming the Ulta one. I was like, you know what, this is gonna be fun. I did want to throw in a quick little disclaimer. I'm taking a break from purchasing from Colourpop right now, mostly because I was not super impressed with their response to the Black Lives Matter movement, unlike many other brands where I was much more impressed with their response. And honestly, they have had a lot of lack of inclusivity in some of their ranges, but definitely on their social media page. They've definitely taken steps to rectify that and improve that in the past, like, I would say month or so. So I'm definitely not canceling Colourpop or anything. I'm not never going to purchase anything from them again, but I am just taking a little break. I'm taking a little step back, but I still thought this video would be fun to film kind of my hypothetical cart because I'm really not buying any of these things right now. It's just for kicks and giggles. But I'm not gonna blabber anymore. Let's hop into my $1,000 fantasy Colourpop cart. Alright, just kidding. I am gonna blabber on just a little bit more. I don't know if I just picked like the worst time ever to do this, but like so many of the products that I wanted were out of stock. So I kind of just like screenshotted those and didn't necessarily add them to my cart. And another weird thing that I want to tell you guys about was that I actually couldn't even make it to $1,000. Like, it was really hard for me to even get to the point I got it to. I'm just over $900 right now, and I feel like there's really not anything else I want from the Colourpop website. I even went like super extravagant, like things that I would probably never actually buy because I already have too many similar items in my collection. But this is my fantasy cart. This is my, if I could buy any makeup I wanted with no limits, with no rationale behind it, this is what I would buy. Okay, now for real, let's hop into the cart. Alright you guys, the very first product that I put into my cart is the Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I think this is Colourpop's latest complexion product launch. I love a good hydrating foundation, you guys. I pretty much stayed away from matte foundations for probably like almost a solid year at this point. Even though it's summertime and my skin gets a little bit dewier, a little bit oilier, when I wear more hydrating foundation, it just looks so much better on my skin. It sits so much nicer, it looks so much more natural, I feel like. So I don't mind powdering a little bit extra for a hydrating foundation, but I grabbed their hydrating foundation because I've heard some pretty good reviews on it. I've heard that it's medium buildable coverage, which is right up my alley, and I haven't heard any serious wear test issues yet, so that's one that I really want to try. That product is $16, and it was what I was most excited to throw in my cart first. So first, I do want to mention really quickly that I am just going to go through all the items that actually made it into my cart that are in stock on the Colourpop website right now, and then towards the end I'll go through the items that I just kind of screenshotted because I still wanted. But next up we have the Miss Bliss eyeshadow palette. I actually did a Shop My Stash of Dupes video on this whole, I forgot what it was called, the pastel, no, it was the tie-dye collection. So I can link that down below if you guys have any interest in watching that. But even though I could dupe that palette, if this was my fantasy world, my fantasy cart, I would buy this palette. It is like warm neutral heaven, and I am a warm neutral girl if you couldn't tell from my eyes right now. I used the Corderosa palette today from Sigma, and I am absolutely in love. I feel like I'm really falling back in love with neutrals, especially warm tone neutrals, and this palette is just absolutely stunning. For the same reason I threw in the California Love palette. I don't think I will ever actually purchase this palette because I have a lot of neutral palettes in my collection. I loved warm neutrals maybe about a year ago, and I bought many warm neutral palettes, and I look at California Love and I'm like, oh, those tones are so beautiful. But in my head I'm like, you really don't need that. You own those tones. So again, that's one that I love but probably would not realistically buy. Ooh, I also grabbed the Blonde Brow Boss Gel. This is Andrea Motigliano's favorite brow gel, and I have been using the Essence Make Me Brow for so many years. I absolutely adore it. But I'm getting to that point where I'm kind of like, I kind of want to branch out a little bit. I kind of want to try something new. I've heard that this brow gel is a little bit more fibrous than Essence Make Me Brow, so I would be interested to see how that would kind of fluff up my brows. I have some pretty full brows naturally. I just like to kind of fill in and define the tail a little bit, so I feel like this would be a really great product for me where I could just quickly fill in the tail a little bit, throw this through the rest of my brows, and run out the door. If I'm I love how I keep saying like this is a great product for me when I'm on the go, and I haven't been on the go in like 3 or 4 months, and I don't know when I'm going to be going back on the go. Anyways, the next product that I threw into my cart is the All That Glitters eyeshadow palette. So this is like a pre-curated singles palette that they have. It has 12 of their pressed glitter shadows. I'm not like super duper into pressed glitter shadows, but I do kind of like them to kind of like tap on the center of my lid or like the outer portion of my lid. I think they're fun. I know some people have some very strong opinions about them and they don't use them on their eyes. If that's you, you do you. But I just think they're really pretty, and this palette is an incredible deal. I've almost bought this palette a couple times. 12 shadows for 20 bucks is a fantastic deal, and I can always use another empty magnetic palette. Next, I grabbed a couple pair of their false lashes. So the first pair that I grabbed is called Honey. It looks like these are a little bit on the longer side, but I feel like they're a little bit more wispy than like opposed to like being spiky or super full, which is the kind of lash that I really like. I don't really like when lashes are so big and heavy that they just kind of like look like a black like shadow or like a caterpillar on my eyeballs. I like them to be a little bit fluffier, a little bit wispier, so they're still defining my eyes, but they're not overwhelming them or completely hiding my shadow underneath. I also grabbed the Dame false lashes. These ones are even wispier, and these ones I may actually purchase, you guys. I love these lashes. I think they might be a little bit, yeah, they're definitely on the longer side, but I love that they're a little bit more flared out on the ends. I feel like that's really, really flattering on my face shape, or not my face shape, on my eye shape. And again, they're very wispy, they're very light and fluffy. And then finally, I grabbed a Lover false lashes. I grabbed these ones because they're kind of unlike anything that I've tried, at least that I've tried in recent years. I feel like maybe I had a pair of falsies like years and years ago that were kind of in this shape, but they're on the shorter side, which really is not a big deal to me. I don't wear falsies too often, but I wouldn't mind having a bit more of a natural pair that I might actually feel more comfortable wearing out of the house. But these are more flared out in the middle of the eye opposed to the outer portion of the eye, and I've really gotten into creating more rounded shape with my eyeshadow lately versus winging it out. I feel like for like a solid year there I was winging out my eyeshadow every single time I did it, but I've been getting it more into the rounded shape, and I'm just curious to see what the shape of lash would look like on my eye. Would it be flattering? Would it look really weird? I'm curious to know. All of Colourpop's lashes are pretty darn affordable. They're only $8, so I'm like, let's just throw a few of those in there. Okay, next up I threw in the Sealed with a Gloss Luxe Gloss Vault. So this is where the fantasy cart comes in, and I'm like, you are making terrible decisions. And that's because this gloss formula has a bit of a reputation to be a little bit temperamental, and maybe I shouldn't buy the whole vault, but I love the shades that they released in this initial launch of these glosses, you guys. I do have one of the Luxe glosses. This is the shade Figgy with it. It's from the Mauve Moves collection. I think that's what it's called. It's like the Mauve collection with the beautiful packaging. And I have no issues with this formula. I don't get any goopiness. It's a little bit on the heavier, stickier side. I don't mind that. I had this on yesterday and I think it was on my lips for like a solid 3 hours, so I can deal with a little bit of stickiness. I actually prefer it because the gloss sticks around for a little bit longer. So I don't personally have beef with the Luxe Gloss formula, but I know some people have, which is why I would never in real life buy this vault. But since I have $1,000 to blow, I blew it on this vault. Okay, my Frozen obsession got the best of me, and I also put in the Free Spirit Ultra Glossy Lip. I don't need any more lip gloss. I don't need any more lip products probably ever, you guys, but I have an obsession with Frozen, especially Frozen 2. I went and saw it in theaters 3 times. I know it was bad, but it was $5 Tuesday, so that makes it slightly better. But I think this is a beautiful, gorgeous, like Your Lips But Better shade. I think I would get a lot of use out of it, and I love that it's Frozen 2. That's all I've got for that one. I know it was an impulse buy, but that's what this whole cart is. The next item that I put in my cart was the Pretty Fresh Creamy Concealer. So I've heard pretty mixed reviews on this concealer, and I'm kind of just throwing it into my cart because I'm like, you know what, I want to try it out for myself. I tried Colourpop's No Filter Concealer in the past and I hated it. Hated it so much. It was the worst concealer I think I've ever tried. But I'm interested in this one. I do like more of a hydrating concealer. I've heard some people say that this is too hydrating and some people say that it's super drying. So I'm not sure if I will ever actually purchase this one because I'm really in love with my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Concealer right now. But I'm interested. Next up, I threw in the Fresh and Peachy Pressed Powder Blush. This is from their Peach collection, and I just want a matte peachy blush. I think the packaging is super cute. I think it's like the perfect shade for like summer, even like that summer fall transition period. Beautiful. Next up, I threw in the shade Mic Drop, which is one of their blush sticks, and I do have one of their blush sticks. I do enjoy the formula. I don't think it's like my tippy top favorite, just because I don't think the blush stick format is my favorite format of cream blush, but I do like it well enough that I would get another shade, and this looks like the most gorgeous vibrant coral shade. I don't have, okay, that's a lie. I do have a vibrant coral blush, but I love it and I wouldn't mind having another one. I also threw in the Full Beat Blending Sponge little set. This set retails for $20, and I think you get 5 sponges. I've really been intrigued by this set. I feel like a lot of people have said really good things about Colourpop sponges. I think I may eventually pick up like 1 or 2, like maybe the microfiber one and like the regular one, just because I want to test it out. But I don't know if I will ever truly be able to like fully commit to a sponge and buy like a whole set of sponges beyond my Shop Miss A sponges, because those are like under $2 and you really can't beat that, especially with a product that I have to throw out every couple months anyways. But I thought, you know what, we're making an order, let's throw it in. I also threw in the Ultimate Brush Roll. Lord knows I don't need any more brushes, but this brush roll is stunning, you guys. It's absolutely beautiful. The brushes themselves have white handles and rose gold ferrules and white bristles. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I love that color combo, and weirdly enough, I really want the brush roll itself. I feel like I don't often do other people's makeup, but on the occasions that I do my friend's makeup, I feel like I would feel like a total makeup artist if I like showed up with my brush roll, spread it all out with all my other makeup goodies. Like, I just think that would be really fun. But I think the brush roll is stunning, and lately I've really gotten into Colourpop's brushes. I don't really have much experience with their brushes beyond their eye brushes, but the ones that I do have, I've really been enjoying. And I've heard really great things about the quality of their brushes across the board. Speaking of being a bit indulgent with my brush buying habits, I threw in 3 of the blending brushes from Colourpop. I'm gonna grab mine. Okay, so mine is currently super dirty, but here's what the brush looks like. It's kind of flat and paddle shaped, but it's really skinny. When I first got this brush, I was like, what am I gonna do with this brush? It's too skinny to really blend things out in my crease. It's like not skinny enough to pack things on my lid, but this is my favorite brush, you guys, especially lately to, oh, did I just get brown eyeshadow all over my cheek? No, we're good. But this is my favorite brush to really tuck color into my outer corner and even like really deeply into my crease. So I put 3 of them into my basket. I did it. I'm not sorry. I just love those brushes, and every time I get that one dirty, I'm like, darn it. Or when it's like dirty past the point of like reusing it, I'm like, darn it, I know I'm not gonna be able to use that brush till I wash my brushes again. So I would love to have a couple more in my collection. Okay, let's move into some 4th Ray Beauty stuff. As I said, I'm not quite completely done with makeup because I do have all those products that weren't in stock. But as far as what's actually in my cart right now and that I didn't just take screenshots of, I have the Avocado and Aloe Double Shot Face Serum. I was really drawn into the packaging on this one, you guys, and the marketing photos. I think they're really beautiful. But I was really attracted to the hydrating claims that this serum had. I, in the summertime, really don't struggle with dry skin at all, but in the wintertime, my skin can be a little bit more temperamental. And I feel like I've gotten into a good routine with using an oil as well as a moisturizer and kind of balancing my skin out that way. I'm always on the hunt for new products, and I've never tried anything from 4th Ray Beauty, so I put quite a few items from them in my cart, and this was just one of them. I was also really interested in trying the Remedy 10% Niacinamide Serum. I've tried a niacinamide serum from The Ordinary before, and I really did enjoy that one. I'd be open to trying one from 4th Ray Beauty as well. I was also interested in trying the Radiate Vitamin C Elixir. I was using vitamin C in my skincare routine probably at the beginning of 2020, and then I just ran out of vitamin C, and honestly, I haven't really gone back and tried a new vitamin C serum. So if you guys do like this one, or if there's another one that you love and you would recommend, definitely leave it for me down in the comments, because I am interested in trying another vitamin C serum to replace the one that I used up. I'm also interested in the Rainfall 2% Hyaluronic Acid Serum. I've never used a hyaluronic acid. I've heard so many people rave about what it does for their skin, and again, this would probably be more of a wintertime purchase for me, because right now I'm really not struggling with hydration or looking like plump. I feel like my oily skin, when my skin gets oily, it looks very plump and like greasy a little bit. So that would definitely be more of a winter purchase with me, but I'm just kind of like throwing my skincare feelers out there. I'm not a skincare expert, I'm slowly getting more into it, but I just thought it would be something cool to try. I also threw in the Face Milk mini kit. I am really intrigued by their face milks. Part of me really thinks that they're just like this huge gimmick and that like maybe they're moisturizing, but are they really like a good product? Is it really worth me spending my money on it? But since this is my fantasy cart, I threw in the little mini set. It comes with 5 different fragrances or 5 different kinds of the face milk. Honestly, I feel like they're all pretty much the same, but I thought the minis were cute and I wanted to try a couple different scents. I also threw in the Good Mood Gel Moisturizer. I feel like this moisturizer would be really perfect for my skin right now. I'm currently using the CeraVe moisturizing cream. I know that CeraVe is not cruelty free and I'm on the hunt for a dupe for that product because that's my favorite moisturizing cream and I just like stocked up a really long time ago and I have so many of them. But I'm interested in trying this one. This one's about the same price. I don't think it comes with quite as much product, but I think this would be a really great product for my skin, especially at the point it's at right now. The next product I threw in my cart was the Fourth Ray Beauty Mist and Match Face Mist Kit. And in this kit there is the Mellow Milk Face Mist, the Fresh AF Mist, and the Glisten Up Vitamin C Mist. Honestly, I would probably use all of these with makeup in some capacity, whether I use it like before I apply my makeup, after I apply foundation, as a final step to kind of cut down on the powderiness. I'm just interested in trying these mists. I've never tried any mists from Colourpop or Fourth Ray Beauty, so I thought, you know what, let's do the little sampler pack. Let's try a couple. I did throw in a few products from Soul Body. So the first product that I threw in is the Shimmering Dry Oil Collection, and this is just like such an extravagant, ridiculous purchase for me to make because I am not one to really put like a dry oil or like even self tanner on my body. It's a little high maintenance for me, but I'm like, you know what, if I've got the cash to spend, let's throw it in. So I threw this one in. It comes with 4 of the dry oils as well as the big body kabuki brush, which was another thing I wanted to grab. I've always thought like maybe if I had like one of those big kabuki brushes, I would use a dry oil or something along those lines a bit more frequently, so I threw that in my cart. I also threw in the body lotion from Soul Body just because I'm on the hunt for my new like holy grail body lotion hand cream. Honestly, I'm running out of the one I'm using right now, so I'm like, you know what, let's just give this one a try. And then at that point I had kind of closed out my cart and I was like, you know what, I feel satisfied with what I have. So I went and checked the total and it was only at like $300. So I went back in and I added some more makeup. So I added the Going Coconuts palette. You guys, do you remember when I wanted this palette so bad? I think I did a Shop My Stash for Dupes video on it. And I do feel mostly satisfied within the dupes that I found, but there's still this part of me that's like, you will love that palette if you get it, just buy it, it's only 12 bucks. So I put it in my cart. I was weak. I also put in the Cherry Pickin' Lip Tint. It looks like the most beautiful, like warm, slightly browny nude shade. I feel like it's the most gorgeous shade for fall. Like that with like a warm smoky eye is so pretty. I think that would be a gorgeous addition to my collection. I also threw in a couple of Super Shock shadows. I love Super Shock shadows, you guys. I've really slowed down on purchasing them over the past couple of years because I have quite a few in my collection and I know that they do dry out sooner than later. But I did throw in the shade Waddles, which is like I believe it's like a satin mauve pink shade. Kathleen Lights raved about this one years and years ago and I've almost bought it, like no kidding, almost 20 times. But I just never pulled the trigger for some reason. I also threw in the shade Frog because it's one of their ultra glitter shadows and I've heard lots of people say that it makes the most beautiful topper, and I also threw in Ritz for pretty much the same reason. It's a gorgeous kind of like taupey shimmery shade. I also threw in the lippy pencil in the shade Shot Clock. I am really not a big lip liner gal. I did use a lip liner today, but I think I have like 5 lip liners or less in my collection. I just don't use them very often, and I feel like I have the staple colors that I use, but occasionally I do find myself wanting a little bit of a deeper pink, and I think the shade Shot Clock really kind of fills that gap in my collection. I also threw in the Merci Bouquet Super Shock Shadow Kit. Again, this was part of their Making Mauves collection. I saw Allie Glines rave about this kit, and the swatches that she did in that video blew me away. These are so metallic, so glittery, so reflective. I was just blown away. I was drooling over them the whole time. And then I was weak and threw in a couple more eyeshadow palettes. At first when I was making this cart, I'm like, you know what, you were doing so well. Not even like half of this is eyeshadow palettes. And then I had to go back through and add more, and I'm like, well, I'll just grab all the palettes I've ever wanted. But the first one that I threw in is the Just My Luck palette. This palette and I have gone back and forth since it launched. Again, this was one that I shot my stash for dupes for, and I felt pretty satisfied with my dupe for a little while. But like every couple months I come back to it and I'm like, oh, that's so pretty. Don't I need that green palette? And then I'm like, no, you really don't. I also put in the It's My Pleasure palette again. This is one that just has been like gnawing at the back of my brain for years and years and years, you guys. I did shop my stash for dupes for this one as well, and I felt pretty satisfied with the dupe that I came up with, but I keep coming back to it again and again and again. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I feel like it's one of the most raved about palettes that Colourpop has ever come out with. Okay, you guys, so at this point we are at $550 as my total. These are the items that were in stock on Colourpop's website, so these are firmly in my cart. Now I do want to share some other items that are technically not in stock on their website, but that just really caught my attention. I was like, you know what, if I was for real making this order, I would want to grab all of these. Plus I had like $500 more to spend. The first two products I have to talk about are actually more eyeshadow palettes, and the first one I want to chat about is the Midnight Masquerade eyeshadow palette. I think I really like crapped all over this palette when it came out. I totally poo-pooed it. I was like, this is boring, this is neutral, and I've come back to it and I've since really fallen in love with the color story. Again, probably not one that I'll ever actually realistically purchase because I just don't need it. I have other shades in my collection that are very similar, but the packaging is beautiful, the color story is beautiful. What can I say? I'm just attracted to this one. I'm also I'm actually like for real kind of considering purchasing the Aura and Out eyeshadow palette. I feel like this was the one that was the most unique out of all the tie-dye eyeshadow palettes that they came out with, and I mean, it's green, you guys. You know how I feel about the greens. I did create a pretty good dupe of it. I think I still have that dupe like put together in my singles palette, so I think I'm going to spend some time kind of creating looks with that dupe, see if that kind of satisfies my urge. But like, this is another palette that I was like, ooh, I want to purchase that one, and then I was sad when it was out of stock. I also threw in their Coco Loco Lippy Scrub Kit. This contains a lip scrub and one of their lip balms. They have like those squeezy tube lip balms. I'm not super interested in the lip scrub, I'm not gonna lie. I do have a lip scrub from Colourpop and I feel like it's just kind of it's okay. It's not my favorite though, but I am really interested in just the squeeze tube lippy balm. I love a good lip balm and I love anything that smells like coconut, so I was super intrigued by this little set. I also threw into my cart the Coconut Beach Pressed Powder Bronzer. This was the lighter of the two bronzers that came out within the Going Coconuts collection, and I've wanted this one for quite a long time. I just think the tone of it is absolutely beautiful. Realistically, I'm really set on bronzers right now, so I have another one, possibly two, that I'm going to mention in the next couple minutes, but realistically, I really don't need them. I also wanted to throw in Private Party. This has been a bronzer that has like teased me for years, you guys. Like the past 2 or 3 times I've made a Colourpop order, I think this has made its way into my cart if it was in stock, but for some reason I just could not pull the trigger on it. I've really been focusing on kind of whittling down my bronzer collection over the past couple months, and I've made some progress, but I did also buy a new bronzer, so I don't think I really need a new bronzer, but I am interested in trying those too. I threw in the Matchmaker blush. This was one of their pressed powder blushes, and it's from the Mulan collection. I think the packaging on this blush is absolutely gorgeous. Mulan is one of my favorite movies, but I think this one is so beautiful, and this one is really unique. It's one that I've really heavily considered purchasing before. It's like a true nude blush, and that is something that I do not own anywhere in my collection, so I'd be really interested to grab that one. I also grabbed the Pretty Thing blush stick. I just think this looks like the prettiest tone of pink. I'm kind of getting a little bit more into like a bubblegummy pink blush. I have the shade 8th Muse from Kosas in their color and light duos, and I think that's really gorgeous. It's very unique, and I think it pairs beautifully with cool tone looks, so I would love to have another blush shade in my arsenal that kind of shares that function. Ooh, you guys, I also threw in the Hydrating and Prime Makeup and Prime set kit. In this kit there is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Setting Spray, the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Primer, and also a sponge. Again, I've just been really interested in this hyaluronic line. It's definitely more of a winter product for me, but if I had $1,000 I would definitely give it a go. I threw in 3 of the blushes that Kathleen Lights created in collaboration with Colourpop. I threw in Lunar Has It, which is kind of like a bronzy nude tone. I Need Space, which is I would describe it as like a deep terracotta rose shade. And then My Sun and Stars, which is a beautiful coral shade. I've wanted these blushes since they came out. I just talked myself out of them in the end because I really don't need more blush. But I think the compacts are beautiful, the colors are gorgeous, and if I'm shopping without rules, I would definitely buy these. I also grabbed the Come Clean face cleanser set from Fourth Ray Beauty. This comes with their BFD cleansing oil and AM to PM gel cleanser. Again, I'm really on a skincare hunt for more cruelty-free alternatives to my favorite skincare. I have very temperamental skin, so I've been very hesitant to branch out and try a bunch of new skincare products at once. I've slowly incorporated cruelty-free options into my routine. It's been working well so far, but I really want to try a cleansing oil as kind of a first cleanse, and then I've never tried a gel cleanser, and I feel like I just really like the sound of that, so I'd definitely be interested to try the gel cleanser as well. I also threw in the multi-masking face mask set from Fourth Ray Beauty. I believe this just comes with like 4 little mini sizes of some of their most popular masks. It comes with the avocado mask, the soak it up mask, the aha moment or AHA moment mask, and the, I believe it's a charcoal mask. I am kind of the worst at using masks, but I really want to try to get better. I feel like it's a really nice kind of little treat for your skin, and these look like really nice masks. I also threw in the Keep It Clear Clarifying Face Toner. I am kind of just experimenting with face toners right now. I really love the glycolic acid one from The Ordinary, but I need to spend a little bit more of my $1,000 budget. I also grabbed the Later Hater Spot Treatment from Fourth Ray Beauty. I've never really used a spot treatment. Most of the acne products that I use are kind of an all-over treatment, and I really would be interested to see how effective it would be, if it would be more effective than my all-over treatments, if it would be more effective if I used it in conjunction with my all-over treatments. So I grabbed this one. It was really inexpensive, only 12 bucks, but I thought it was worth a shot. I also grabbed the Daily Eye Cream. I'm on the hunt for a good eye cream. I really haven't landed on one that I just adore, and this one's pretty affordable at 15 bucks, so I thought I'd give it a go. I also grabbed the After Hours Detox Face Oil. I've never heard of a detoxing face oil, and I really love that this one had salicylic acid in it. I'm pretty sure it did. That ingredient does great things for my skin, and so I was super intrigued by this. This may be one that I do actually go end up purchasing. Okay, you guys, I bought another Soul Body Glow Oil collection. These are the oils that are a bit more of like a metallic sheen versus like glitter chunks, which is probably a little bit more up my alley. This one, again, comes with 4 of the glow oils in one of those big body buffer brushes and retails for $58. I also threw in the Soul Gradual Sunless Tanning Lotion. I don't do fake tan, but in the summertime, I would like a little bit more of a glow, and I think maybe a gradual tanning lotion would be the way to go for me because it's just a little bit easier to manage, and I wouldn't have to worry about having like super like weird harsh spots or like rubbing off weird or applying patchy or anything like that. You guys, this video, I know it was already so long. I just had to take a break, unload my memory card to finish it off. I'm going to try to trim it down the best I can, but we have a lot of products to talk about. I promise we just have a few more to go through, so let's wrap this video up. So I also threw in the Oh Snap Lippy Pencil, and as I said, I just need like maybe 1 or 2 more lip liners. I really don't wear them very often. I know that Oh Snap is a really great kind of like neutral to pinky lip liner. I wear a lot of pinky-ish lippies like the one I have on right now, so I feel like this would be a really great addition to my collection. I feel like it would pair really beautifully with a lot of the lip products that I wear on a regular basis. And then the final product that I threw in my cart is the Team Pastel Shadow Palette set. So in this set is the Baby Got Peach palette, the Mint to Be palette, and the Lilac You a Lot palette. I think all these are beautiful. I talked myself out of the Baby Got Peach palette because I have the Sweet Talk palette and I really felt that they were too similar for me to own both of them. Mint to Be, again, I felt like I duped it pretty well. And Lilac You a Lot, I still really love. But I was so torn between purchasing this one or purchasing It's My Pleasure because I feel like if I purchase one, I definitely do not need the other, that I couldn't make a decision, and I still haven't come to a decision about that palette. I just think the purples in there are so pretty. I may have to buy them eventually. I'm not sure, but that's gonna wrap up my Colourpop fantasy cart. Again, I didn't even make it to $1,000. My grand total was $891, which I feel like is so strange because I feel like maybe 6 or 8 months ago I would have had no issues finding a couple more items to put into my cart, but I feel like my mindset is really shifting with makeup and I'm being a lot more selective about what I bring in, even in my $1,000 Colourpop fantasy. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was fun to watch. I'm sorry it was so long. Make sure you go check out the beauty reviewers version of this video. I'm so excited to see what she throws into her cart. I know I have a lot more Colourpop palettes than she does, so I'm excited to see if she kind of expands her palette collection or if she goes for like blushes or bronzers or Fourth Ray Beauty or Soul Body. I'm super interested to see, so definitely check her out below. Thank you so much for collabing with me once again. Before you guys go, leave me a comment down below letting me know what the first item would be in your $1,000 fantasy Colourpop cart. Would you go for like one of the vaults with like all the palettes? Would you go for like one of their newer products like the foundation? What would be that first item that you would put in here? So that's gonna wrap it up today. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!